Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is a channel update that is a long time in the making. The last time I did one of these was back in November of last year, and the reason why is simply because I haven't had the time to really make them, and I haven't had anything really worth saying. And when I say I haven't had the time, it's just other things have taken priority. I feel like these videos are important. They're especially important to say thank you to my Patreon folks, but other than that, I like to save them for when I've got anything definitive to talk about on the channel. And all I'm going to talk about at the moment is essentially the summer doldrums of YouTube and the swing and roundabout of how it works in this period. But before I get there, I have to talk about the amazing people over here on Patreon, which is a website that enables people like myself to create any kind of creative work outlet, and they support it because they believe in what it is and want to see it continue and want to support it, and it's absolutely incredible. I would have a very difficult time right now doing what I'm doing without it, and I want to give back to those people because it's been a while since I've been able to shout them out. So without further ado, I want to extend a massive thank you to the following people. These people may no longer be pledged, it's been that long, but it still counts and it still matters to me, and I want you to still receive the credit that you deserve. So the first person is Yura. Looking on here, we have Nick, thank you very much. We have Cameron, thanks a bunch, bud. We have Jack, thank you very much. We have Lucy, we have Loyal, and we have Wheatus, thank you very much. Then we have Alexei, thank you very much. We have Welt. We have Raisuke, thank you very much. We have Christopher. We have Tyler, thank you so much. We have Jack. We have Shattered Stasis. We have Guy. We have Wesley. We have Anonymous. Thank you very much, guys. We have PJ. We have Tanky. We have... let's have a look. And we have Dexter. Thank you very much. I can't even begin... oh, I'm sorry, and Wesley. I just missed that one. Wesley as well. So, everybody that I've just named right there are pretty much the reason that I'm able to continue doing what I'm doing at the moment, outside of trying to get partnered on Twitch, because YouTube is in a bad place. And you've heard a lot of people talk about it. You've heard me joke about it because Darkside Phil does nothing but talk about it. I try my best not to bring that type of stuff up because it doesn't really affect you guys, right? It's not important to you folks. You want to see the fun videos, you want to have a good environment. You don't want somebody waxing about how, you know, the ad revenue is lower because of X or this and Y and Z. That stuff is ultimately non-essential stuff for you guys to know. You know, you don't want to hear about the cow when you go and order the burger, do you? It's silly. So I try to do my best not to talk about it, even though inevitably on my streams, which is just me stream of consciousness things, you'll hear about it there every so often. But at this moment in time, during the summer, YouTube has potentially the worst ads they ever have, because the ad space that they sell is considerably less, because they know that the demographics that they're targeting, this is not a hot zone for them. They want to save their money for advertising during the busy periods that have shown statistically and empirically that make the most money. So your early years, your Februaries and such at that moment, and during your Christmas, like Christmas to I think, is it what, January when it hits off and it stops? Because we get paid in like a staggered fashion, but there are periods of time where advertising is at its finest, where YouTube buys the most expensive ads. And around the November, the October to December area is kind of the golden ratio. That's where you want to be, that's where everything is great. But when it hits to January, February, it dips again, and then when we get to the point we're in right now, it's really, really low. And it just translates to, you do the same amount of videos, you do the same amount of effort on the videos, you do the same amount of whatever it is that you're doing, and you get less for it. So it makes it really demoralizing, really fatiguing, and quite difficult to see the creative merit for a lot of things. And if you can push through that and you can continue to do it as if you were completely ignoring the fact that you're being paid like one-fifth of what you were being paid before, then you're a pretty strong dude. You've got a lot of fortitude to you, but it definitely makes it difficult. And it's the reason at the moment why the channel hasn't really been getting too much attention other than the Dark Souls remaster that's running, purely because the effort that you put in doesn't get returned. And there's other avenues where you can do that, which show a lot more growth and a lot more promise. One of those for me is, of course, over on Twitch, where the Twitch stuff is really easy to set up, it's really fun to do, and you can get feedback one-to-one. You can talk to the people who watch the videos, because one of the disconnects with YouTube that I've found over my time doing it is that a lot of people have very strong opinions, but they're all scattered about, and there'll be somebody that'll want something really fiercely, but then you'll not see them for months, or you'll not see them on any of the other videos, and then when you make the thing they asked for, they're not there watching it, they're not there saying, you know, this is what I wanted, this is what this is. So you can oftentimes get a slanted view on the demand on the channel, because there's a lot of people shouting very loudly, but the grand, you know, consensus is perhaps do something else. And over on Twitch, everybody can shout equally, and I can listen to them all, and I can respond within a moment's notice and give you that thing back, and kind of tell you where I'm standing, where you're standing, and it allows for a much greater dialogue, and that dialogue I think is key to growing and key to making the channel better, which my goal on YouTube at the moment is to make what I do the best it can physically be it through the quality, be it through what it is that I'm making, and try to give that unique print that is me on it. And it can be difficult because everything's been done before, you know, there's no true creativity, but there are a few things in the works that are hopefully going to be coming through soon that are a little bit different, that mix it up slightly. At the moment in time, I'm in a bit of an impasse when it comes to what project I'm going to do next, because after Dark Souls, I don't really know what I'm going to be covering, because of course, with the bad ad revenue that comes in the summer, there's also the drought of video games, because very few big games get released in this period, and it doesn't mean there isn't games. There's a ton of indie games and PC games and various other things that I'm probably going to be looking into, but it just translates to there's nothing too high profile to hopefully give you a leg up in this kind of rough period. But it's a great opportunity to go back and do other things. At the moment in time, I'm really into Gears of War 4, amazingly. I never thought I'd get into that game because it was a fun campaign, but it just didn't really do much for me. But my friends are getting into it, we're playing it quite a lot, and there's always stuff that can come from that. I've played a little bit of Versus mode on stream with some people, I've played some Horde on stream with some people, and it was pretty fun. So there's hopefully something that can come from that. I might even go back and cover the campaign, maybe do Inconceivable difficulty. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do, but there's a couple of ideas floating around, because I want to make something fun. There's always the opportunity to go back to Dead Space 1, do a fun run with that, because people really like the second one. I also want to be analysing some of the games coming up to maybe build some hype, to get people excited, because at this moment in time there isn't much to get excited about other than what's coming out, so that's definitely an option too. And of course there are unfinished projects on the channel. Everybody who's craving those unfinished projects, guys, do not worry, they will be finished. Some of them are finished, it's just all about that timing, and right now the timing is not great. For the people who are really interested in the balls deep stuff, in the teasers and in the looking at the first impression videos, I have a couple of those made, and I have a few more that I'm going to make. I have a particularly fun one coming up because the game is just crazy, so I hope you enjoy that one. I also have some other things that I'm going to hopefully be sharing soon, so stay tuned for those. And what would you like to see, guys? Because I get a lot of requests for things that are completely preposterous and ridiculous, and I expect it, but there are also a couple of good ones that come from it, and every so often you can get a really, really good idea. And I'm not the type of person who's going to steal your ideas and say I thought of them, because I'm not Darkside Phil. But if you have an idea for something that you think would really work on the channel, and you have a pretty good conversation as to why I should do it, then I'd love to hear it, guys. What do you want to see? Like, it's one of those strange questions, isn't it? I ask this all the time on stream, especially towards Patreon. I ask people, what would it be that got you to give $1 over on Patreon? Because it doesn't sound like a lot, but times can be tough, you know? When you've got a ton of bills coming out, you don't want to have any kind of excess. So, what is it the thing that would entice you, even though normally you wouldn't do that type of thing? It's the same kind of question here. What would get you sitting through a video for longer than you normally would, or what would get you coming back to YouTube more than you normally would? Because if you can think of something, maybe we can workshop it, and boom, who knows? We could innovate and create something new, which would be amazing. But as it stands, the next big game coming out, I couldn't even tell you what it is, guys. It's probably something in September or something in November. And there's some big hitters there, but there's none that I'm ridiculously excited for at the moment. So it's one of those things where we're kind of in a mellow period, so some downtime is definitely warranted. And I've got a couple of games I'd like to play, but I can't get them to record the way I'd like to do them. For instance, I was going to do something with Stranglehold, because I really like that game, and it's stupid, and it's dumb, and it's old school, and it's really fun, but I can't get the FOV to be what I want it to be, and it looks really stupid. And then there's Wanted Weapons of Fate that I would love to make some videos about, because that's another cool shooter that went under the radar that not many people played. But the sensitivity options have deceleration built into them, so when you use mouse and keyboard, it's like you're turning a huge fucking wheel to turn a boat. It's really stupid. So that's a problem as well. But there's a couple of other ideas that I've had that I want to go back to. I really want to make something with Luigi's Mansion, which is crazy and stupid, and I shouldn't do it because I'll make no money, but I love that game. It's really fun, it makes me smile, and I haven't really done much Nintendo on my channel, so there's something pulling me to that. There's a whole host of different ideas rattling about, but until I can get anything, verified in my mind, I'm not going to move forward on them. There's going to be more commentaries coming for multiplayer, guys, because I've got a ton of Battlefront 2 that I want to share. There might even be some Titanfall 2, because I've got some of that knocking about on the hard drive. I might even do a COD World War 2 just to mix it up. And then there's the streaming, folks. So if you don't know much about my streaming, I'm kind of all over the place at the moment. I don't have a set schedule. Sometimes I stream a lot, sometimes I don't stream at all. I am not partnered yet, so the quality options can sometimes be a bit of a bitch for people, which is really frustrating, and I'm sorry about that. And additionally, because of my situation at the moment, I can't stream on American times. I need to fix that, and I'm working on it, guys, I truly am, because I'd like to do a stream for the European folks and the English people and everything, and then do one for the American guys, because there's nothing worse than having to stay up until 5 in the morning to watch your favourite streamer. I've done it myself, it's rough, but if I can somehow remedy that by maybe doing 2 slightly shorter streams that culminate in bigger streams, that could be pretty cool. Or just maybe making a time where everybody can get to it and focusing on that. All food for thought, right? But I like to have a nice diversity over on Twitch. I like to play games that not necessarily everybody wants to see, just so it's something a little bit different. I occasionally play multiplayer, sometimes we do co-op, it all depends. A lot of the time is spent just kind of hanging out, talking about stuff, waxing poetic, listening to a bit of smooth music, watching ridiculous internet videos, analysing other YouTubers, analysing other players, analysing gameplays, of course, deconstructing Darkside Phil quite a lot. I'm trying my goal for anybody that's not entirely certain and is confused by my streams. I'm trying to kind of have an environment where people will come and hang out because it's a fun place to be and because they enjoy the community, rather than just, they want to come and see me play a specific thing. Like, if you come for just gameplay, I want to get you staying when the gameplay stops. And conversely, if you come for just the interaction and when the game's on you lose interest, I want to get you interested in whatever that game is or interested in sticking around when that's on. I want to kind of get the best of all worlds. And if I can do that, it'll be fantastic, because it means that I'll have an environment where no matter what I'm doing, people want to show up. And one of the things you notice, especially on Twitch if you watch a lot of people, is a lot of streamers have their own game, their go-to game that keeps them their audiences, and if they play anything else, it nosedives. And conversely, when there's no games to play, it nosedives. I don't want to be that. If I can break that mold, it would be wonderful. I probably can't. It's probably way more difficult than I have any idea about, but it's what I'm trying to work towards, and I feel like even if it is a slow push to do this, it'll be worth it in the end, because we're building something greater than what it is at the moment. But Twitch is really, really fun, and I'm enjoying it a lot, but it doesn't seem like Twitch likes me too much, because the stipulations for getting partnered, which is what I'm trying to do, are a 3-tick ratio. The first one is to stream a certain amount of hours, which I've already done. The second one is to, I think it's consecutive streams, which I've already done. And then the third one is to average 75 viewers, which I've come really close to doing, and it's over a period of 30 days. But at the moment in time, I fluctuate between 50 and about 65. So I'm just undercutting it. And it'd be really, really cool if I could do it, but it seems really hard. When I think I'm doing well, I'm doing poorly, and when I think I'm doing poorly, I'm doing well, and it's really difficult to understand it because it's automated. So I think I'm going to end up accepting the affiliate, as much as it's taking a knee and it's going to hit me in the pride, but I think it's a good building block to moving forward, because a lot of people ask, you know, when are they going to be able to get the sub badge, when are they going to be able to do these things, when can they give bits, when can they do X and Y and Z, and as much as I don't really understand the fascination with all that, purely because Twitch takes more than you could ever know, so all you're really doing is paying them, and there are various other ways to support your favourite people on the internet which are way better, but there's some kind of prestige to it, right? People like Twitch, they like the emoticons, they like those pictures, they like being part of that community over there and that culture of I'm on Twitch and I love these people and I support these people and things, and that's amazing, don't get me wrong, I don't want to diminish its value at all, that's not my purpose, but it's just people really, really like that stuff, and if that's what people like, that's what you've got to move towards, right? And I have tried my best to forge my own path and do the things that I believe in, that I want to do, and by doing this I don't think I'm going to compromise any of those things. I think it's just going to build towards something cool, and that should be awesome, right? So that's something hopefully to look forward to, but it's just difficult at the moment, guys. There's a lot of things up in the air, a lot of things I want to do, a lot of things I can't do, a lot of things I'm working towards, a lot of things I wish I was working towards, and I'd just like to thank everybody for all the kind words, all the support, just showing up and taking interest and saying that you like what somebody does is so underestimated on the internet. At this moment in time, if it doesn't have money attached to it, people don't give a shit, because we've turned it all into this rat race of numbers, and it's losing the point of why you do this, and it's losing the real quality of what the payback on this is. The payback has nothing to do with the money. The money is great, especially if you're doing well, but it's the fact that you get to interact with so many different people, you get to touch people's lives, and I never thought I'd say something like that, because it sounds kind of gay, right? It sounds all metaphysically and seriously, and I sound like a guru stroking my beard right now, but it's true. You know, some of the messages that I get, some of the comments that people say, some of the things that they say are incredibly profound, and who would have known that playing video games and talking about dicks would have, you know, acclimatized that kind of response, because it happens way more than I ever expected. And like, it's not just about me anymore, you know. I'm building a platform that people relate to, that people understand, that people have a lot of stock in, and it's transcended what I originally intended it to be. And admittedly, I'm still very small, I'm still very inconspicuous and innocuous, and I wish I was PewDiePie, only, you know, way more attractive, funnier and better in every conceivable way, but I'm not. I'm the latter, I'm not the former. But that's okay, you know. There's plenty of room for something else. But that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to kind of recap, give people an idea of how everything's working. Sorry that it's been a long time in coming. Sorry that I didn't have any better news to give you, any definitives, any projects that you're looking forward to, you know. But work in progress, right? Work in progress. Watch this space, as some people like to say. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for following me on Twitter and keeping a head up on all the junk that I talk about and all the important news, because that's where it all ends up landing. I'd like to thank everybody over on Patreon. You people are amazing. Never underestimate what you do to the people you support. It's profound, it's ridiculous, it's amazing. And thank you to everybody who watches on YouTube, everybody who hits that like button, everybody who takes the time out of their schedule and their life clock to go and watch me on Twitch as I talk bullshit and watch stupid meme videos. Like, you can't quantify what that means. There's no words, and there's no point wasting them to try to do so. So thank you very much, guys, and you take care now.